Today we're at the Woodbine Municipal Airport in a hurricane response exercise with Cape May County, New Jersey, the New Jersey State Police, Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay, American Aerospace, and Verizon Wireless. We'll be flying a cell site on the Long Endurance Unmanned Aircraft System over a state forest in which we've established a simulated communication denied environment, as you might experience after a hurricane on the shore in New Jersey or down the coast.
So after the connectivity goes out, the UAS steps in with this Verizon system?
Right. So until communications are restored, and by the way, with Sandy, because of power outages and flooding, in some cases it was weeks before the communications were restored, we're able to establish a persistent communications capability using a long endurance UAS for first responders and others, voice, text, imagery, and video.
What is the importance of unmanned systems to Verizon, and how does that fit in with what you're demonstrating today?
Unmanned systems are increasingly important to Verizon for a number of scenarios for the wireless network, which I focus upon. We've conducted unmanned operations for cell site tower survey inspection missions, disaster recovery survey inspection missions in the wake of Hurricane Matthew, and here with today's demonstration, the flying cell site technology to provide coverage and service to first responders in a disaster recovery scenario where temporary communications are needed because permanent communications have been impacted by whatever disaster has occurred. Increasingly, however, Verizon Wireless, our Verizon Network, and our Verizon Business and our Internet of Things teams are increasingly focusing on using and operating Airborne LTE operations, unmanned aircraft operations, for a variety of enterprise applications.
And just quickly, is what you're demonstrating today, has this been done before, or is this the first sort of public face of this kind of operation?
In October, we conducted a similar mission in Cape May County Airport, again with the participation of Cape May County Municipal Authority Emergency Management, but in that situation, only American Aerospace engineers and Verizon engineers were utilizing the equipment and accessing the system. This is the very first time that we're putting devices in the hands of public first responders, Jersey State Police, United States Coast Guard, and inviting them to use the system, experience the service and the capabilities, and provide feedback back to American Aerospace and Verizon so we can continue to cooperate with those agencies and deliver the best service and capabilities we can to meet their needs.
So tell me about your experience with Sandy, and what was the communication situation like at that point?
Yeah, I was the emergency management coordinator in Ocean City, New Jersey, still am, but I was in that role during Sandy. Obviously quite an experience, a once in a lifetime type storm hits the Jersey shore. Communication is always crucial during any emergency event. Fortunately with Sandy, we were able to get people out early enough where it didn't create that panic situation where everybody was on their phones at once. What I was just explaining to the other reporters was a situation where we did experience that cell phone outage. It was a year prior to that. We had an earthquake, which was epicentered in Northern Virginia, but we felt the far-reaching effects here in South Jersey. It was actually the same week that Hurricane Irene had come up the coast. So that was interesting. You have a hurricane and an earthquake in South Jersey in the same week. I'm not sure that one's ever happened before. But an earthquake situation where nobody knows what's going on, everybody's trying to figure out what just happened, is everybody safe, checking on loved ones. Everybody, your first instinct is go to your cell phone first. Start calling, start texting. Those lines, the network becomes so inundated that the cell phones then become useless. It takes an hour for all the calls and text to go through from one person to the next. So that impacts us as first responders, emergency management, everybody. The cell phones become useless. So this is a great exercise, an opportunity to see how drone technology can restore those vital lines of communication and free up space on the network to be able to make those calls and have them go through that much quicker.